You're listening to the 12 Days of Crusademas 2024, brought to you by the Longbox Crusade. 9 Toms a Stronging. Hello and welcome to the 9th day of the 12 Days of Crusademas for 2024, brought to you by the Longbox Crusade. The 12 Days of Crusademas is our gift to the podcast community to celebrate this holiday season. And we're celebrating this joyous season by sharing with you some comic titles that may have gotten by you in the past. Each day of the 12 Days of Crusademas will bring you a hidden gem of a comic series, brought to you either by one of our Holly Jolly co-hosts or one of our podcast celebrity guests, until we get all the way to the big day, December 25th, Christmas Day, aka General Flag Aircraft Carrier Day. And I'm your host for the 9th day of Crusademas, Jason, aka the Wintergreen Weasel Skull, and here are the 3 rejected reindeer joining me for today's unwrapping. We'll go ahead and start with the founder, Pat DJ Cristados. Happy holidays, my friend. How are you?
I am doing good, Jason. Happy holidays to you as well. We are getting close. We are getting close to the big day. You mentioned it. It is coming. And I got, let me just check my phone here.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I got my answer. Just got a message from Santa Claus. He said, hey, Jason wants this big gift I got to get him, but I can't do it if I don't got any lights on the house to see where to land.
So you better get those lights up quick, is what it sounds like to me.
I told him I'm busy. I got some other things going on. So he goes, well, then, tell Jason I may not be able to get that gift to him without any lights to, because I got to see where to land because this thing's pretty big. So,
well, you tell Santa that I will make sure that Pat gets those lights up, because he needs to land that thing like a jet lands on
like a Sky Striker lands on the flag?
Aircraft carrier, you got it.
Yeah, I'll tell him, but I can respond back to him that you guys are going to help with that and get it done.
You should not lie to Santa.
I want to tell him to watch out.
You'll get put on the naughty list.
I'll tell him to watch out for Treetop Tommy as well, too. I don't want him,
get too close to Tommy. Treetop Tommy was complaining last year. He got a little too close to Treetop Tommy. And Treetop Tommy, he clocked him, and he was doing more than what was allotted up there. So
I'll tell you what. See if Tommy can help us out with the lights.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Pat. I'm sure you'll get it all sorted out. In the meantime, I'm going to continue going around the horn, and let's check in with my brother from my actual mother, Jared, the yard sale artist, also known as Death Probe. Happy holidays, Jared.
Oh, man. Happy holidays, Jason. I've had it rough.
You sound rough.
I went up in the attic to get some Christmas lights to help Cristados put a little bonus lights out this year.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And I went up there, and Mary Jane was up there. She said, hey, it's nice that you do this for him. Let me mix you a couple drinks before we do this.
Oh, she was already doing her mixology up there for the big holiday party?
And she was like, let's make it fun and have a few drinks, And I was like, that's a good idea. And man, next thing I know, I'm just on recovery right now. So sorry, Pat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, drink lots of water, man. And
I got a joke, though.
Penicillin, too. I would recommend making a little penicillin. All right, good call.
I still got a joke.
All right, hit me with a joke.
All right, so we all know the story of the Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens. Ebenezer Scrooge turns his life around, becomes a better person. What you don't know is after that, he starts a fairly successful football, as they call it there. We would call it soccer career.
Okay.
He gets out of the pitch and he scores a goal in the first minute. And you guys know how he did that?
He went back in time?
You're surprised?
I don't know. I give up.
Well, the Ghost of Christmas Past.
What?
So he could score the goal because
he got past the goalie, Or did he pass it?
The Ghost of Christmas
somebody else.
And then Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, the Ghost of Christmas passed the ball.
Yeah.
And then he scored it past. All right.
It's PASS.
You only got a few days.
Sounds like PAS.
Got it.
Like,
all right.
I'm going to go back on you.
Delvin, save us. Delvin the Dark Web, Williams. Happy holidays. Save us, please.
I'm pretty sure there is no saving. Really, any of us. So I wouldn't be holding my breath too much for that U.S. flag. I'm not sure if Santa's going to be stopping by or not, but it's okay. Yeah, you know what? And hope is free, by the way.
That's right.
And a Canadian flag, which is almost as good as a U.S. flag, that's not free, but you can get it off Temu, and we might be hooking you up with that. So,
Does it come with like Moltons and some
where the guns fire out? It's just fireworks.
Gravy for the come out of the guns.
Comes equipped with apologies. Sorry.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. It says here I'm supposed to introduce a guest, but it's all about me tonight, fellas. So I bet you're wondering.
Yeah, Jason. Hey, what do you have wrapped up in that stocking of yours?
Well, Pat, thank you for asking. Today, as you heard in the singing intro, I brought 9 Toms a Stronging, which means we're unwrapping Tom Strong #1. Tom Strong was originally published as a bi-monthly ongoing series by America's Best Comics in 1999. It was written by Alan Moore, and I'm sure our folks know who that is. He's done a lot of great works like Watchmen and Swamp Thing. One of my personal favorites, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and the list goes on and on. It was penciled by Chris Sprouse, and he was relatively new at the time. He'd done a lot of covers and some one-shots. He got a big break by doing Star Wars Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and he then penciled Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne, and eventually he went on to be the penciler on the new X-Men series, and he did some other stuff as well. So the series ran a total of 36 issues, and then there were a smattering of one-shots and specials, and it featured the exploits of the adventurer, scientist, and crime fighter Tom Strong and his incredible family. Some of the main reasons I love this book: Alan Moore, terrific writer, and he craftily weaves a childlike love of early pulp fiction characters, and it has some subtle adult themes that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit as we dive into the book. It's one of the things I really love. I love the pulp fiction science, the adventure, and the heroics. There's a sense of purity to it that just brings a little bit of fun and lightheartedness. Jared, as much as you like super intelligent dinosaurs packing pistols, I like super intelligent apes, and they've got one of those in here as well. And finally, it just checks all my boxes. Folks that listened to Crusademas before know I'm looking for humor, heart, spectacle, and art, and this has all 4 of those things. So with that in mind, we'll go around the horn and just ask you folks, have any of you read Tom Strong before? Pat, we'll start with you.
Well, Jason, I'm going to have to give you a strong no. I have not read this before.
All right. First time. Interested to see what you thought of it. Delvin, how about you?
For some reason, Tom Strong sounds familiar, feels familiar, but I don't think I have any in my collection. So I got to say this is the first time.
Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it and see if maybe we can convince you to go add some Tom Strong to your collection here. Jared, what about you? Last but certainly not least, you pick up any Tom Strong along the way?
I have not. I saw that you selected this for Crusademas, and I was excited to see what kind of horrors of war we were going to get into.
Hey, I got 3 more issues of The Lion and the
which I still maintain is an excellent book, by the way. It's just very strong. Speaking of which, no, I haven't read any Tom Strong. I've seen it about. It's got a neat character design, but that's all I have.
All right. Well, let me. I'll dive into here for a quick summary on this particular issue, the one that I brought, which was issue 1. I figured let's just start at the beginning. So, Timmy Turbo is the newest member of the Strongmen of America. His membership includes the story of how Tom Strong got started. We travel with Timmy on a sky-high cable car on his way to school in Millennium City as he reads of Tom Strong's origins and upbringing on the island of Adabar Teru. He learns that Tom's mother and father were stranded on the remote island during an ill-fated expedition in 1899. He also learns that Tom's father was a genius who raised Tom in a special high-gravity chamber so his son would be super strong. He learns that Tom has been granted an extraordinarily long life thanks to a mysterious route unique to that island. He also learns of the tragic death of Tom's parents when he is 8 years old and how he was then raised with the local indigenous tribe. While Timmy is engrossed in his reading, Tom Strong defeats a blimp bandit threatening Timmy's cable car, but Timmy is too absorbed in the tale to notice. So what'd you guys think of the issue? And we'll start with Delvin this time. Delvin, what'd you think?
I liked it.
Okay.
We're all ready. I was like, we're ready to crap on your book because, we're just big haters. Well, not of you, just of your books.
Just of my reading material.
Well, I mean, you
mendicants.
We know that you tend to trend more towards historical fiction or wartime stuff, and that's what you like. But in this case, this seemed more like a cut and dried superhero tale of sorts. And Tom Strong seemed interesting. His origin was interesting. I was kind of shaking my head at, Tomas, who passed away to get Tom Strong's parents to the island. Sort of seemed like the wife was a little bit too sad about old boy. I was like, something going on there? I don't know if they're going to reveal something, but it felt like something was going on there. And then it kind of kept going when Tom, or, named after the guy, which is another hint, by the way. But then he wound up shacking up with one of the islanders. And so I'm kind of like, okay, well, all right. But overall, I liked the science fiction in it of the butler, Newman. And so I like the butler. I thought it was kind of Alan Moore can either do a super dark story, or in this case, he very intentionally wanted to put a sense of wonder in there. Had the kid sort of reading the origin story I'm super fascinated by this. And it ended very good too, to where the kid was just walking and he walked right by Tom Strong and didn't even realize it. And then he turns and wait a minute, what the? So
holy socks.
So yeah, holy socks. So yeah, it was Alan Moore at, if not his finest, it was at his very, very good. If it wasn't at his finest, I enjoyed it. It was a good read.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I'll tack on a little bit here is you bring up the innuendo that there might have been something between Tom's mom and Tomas, the sea captain. And I thought that it's a remarkable bit of writing. There's no exposition about it. It's just the way she reacts. And we also can kind of see that Sinclair, her husband, is also he's really absorbed in his work, kind of like Reed Richards a little bit, he's not the most affectionate of men. So I just thought it was a really good way for the writer to display that. A lot of show don't tell. But I've talked too much. I'm going to go around the horn and give Pat a turn and see what Pat thought of the book.
Like Delvin said before, I felt like this was something either I was read before or just something I should have known about. It felt so like this would have been ingrained in your pulp culture-y kind of a feel. And I started reading this, I'm like, was this a character that they were bringing back from an older time? And I couldn't find anything on it besides, no, this is it. This is the beginning of Tom Strong, because to me, it just feels like he's a character kind of out of time, but a character from way back then that they dug up somewhere and oh yeah, these were from the 1930s or whatever, and we were bringing it back here. And I was like, no, this is them telling a good story, a good opening story to get you all hooked in. And to give you a little jab, I was like, 39 pages, 30-some pages. Oh man, this is going to be a long one. So
I'm a gentleman, Pat, and I would have never have brought that up, that it was feature length.
I didn't even count it. Yeah. So this is the first time hearing about it right now.
But the reason I say that, and I say this a lot, when I could say something like that, that means, okay, I'm going to divide this up when I'm reading it because it's so long, and I was reading it at night for the show, and I was like, oh man, I'm going to read half of it, and then I'll read the other half tomorrow, just so I can, kind of chew a little bit off as I can. But no, I ended up reading the whole thing. And in fact, I ended up reading most of the stuff at the end of it, the prose stuff that was written too, because I was so interested in this character and what this world was all about. So that really means a lot. If you got me hooked enough to continue to read on and forego sleeping, then it was definitely good. And the artwork, you mentioned the artwork is very good. And I liked how they were kind of distinguishing the artwork from when Tommy was around, a little more cartoony-ish world. And then in the old storytelling, it was more real life or more kind of realistic-y feel to it. So definitely an interesting story. Lots going on. So many things are cool in this, but I don't want to take anything from, like, Jarrett might have a few more things to say, so I don't want to step on any of that. But definitely a good read, and it kept me interested in wanting more.
If you read it all through in one sitting and read the prose, I think that's a really good sign. But that just leaves Jared. Jared, it's your turn. You gonna poop all over my book again this year, or what do you, or did you like it?
Had I read it?
Here we go.
Here we go. No, Pat took everything. He's a turd.
See? Oh, man.
But
I pooped on it.
But yeah, Pat talked all about how this definitely feels like it comes from was it Doc Samson, Man of Bronze, Phantom, Shadow, Pulp era.
Yeah.
Like the Rocketeer vibe. Airboy.
Oh, yeah. Airboy.
I think Jason brought Airboy last year.
I did, yeah.
And everybody loved it. This is in that vein. This is really in that vein. Alan Moore is kind of hit and miss with me. Either I really like her, and I'm like, and I like this one. Good, solid writing. It had the feel of another Crusademas book we had a few years back, brought by, I think it was Laurel, which was Atomic Robo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it did.
It had a little bit of that. Atomic Robo was a lot sillier, but this had a joy about it, which I think is what really nabbed me the most. This book has a real joy about it. I feel like modern writers, especially, this is my grumpy old man coming out, would have made more of a big deal about him and the native culture of the land. But I love how they just they complement each other. He fits in with them. He marries into that culture. He loves the culture. He learns the language. They learn. It's very joyous the way that it's done. And I think that's really cool. It's reminiscent of Tarzan, but maybe even a little better than Tarzan. You know how like Tarzan finds himself in the jungle and he becomes the jungle, he loves it that much. But this is actually more realistic because in Tarzan, they're like, oh, by the way, here's a white girl. Her name is Jane. This was like, ain't none of those around here, right? This really beautiful native girl who, again, really well written. I think of her as my sister. And then as he matures, he's like, she's more of a lover.
Yeah.
And it's just in such a brief amount of time, a beautiful story told. Like this is an absolute home run of an origin book. What a great way to tell it. So at the end, I'm just going to come back to it's joyous. It doesn't have a mean-spirited bone in its body. And I applaud the heck out of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of the things that I really liked about the book was how, his dad basically treats him as an experiment. And he's kept isolated in that pressure dome for years and years and years.
8 years.
And 8 years, yes, thank you. And his dad never plans for Tom to learn the language of the natives. He's surprised when Tom can speak it, and he can't, not like Tom can. And that just kind of shows you that childlike wonder and curiosity as Tom, even in an early age, starts to express a little individuality. And I just like, too, how the tale is told through the eyes of Timmy Turbo, and Timmy Turbo seeing this thing. But Alan Moore plants a few seeds of more adult themes in there that fly right by young Timmy Turbo, because Timmy Turbo doesn't need to understand those to enjoy the book. And at the end, like you said, Jared, doesn't need to be a mean-spirited story. and it gives us permission to enjoy it the same way that Timmy is. All right. Oh, God, I'm nervous, man. We did around the horn, and now I got to get the candy canes. Jared, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Are you showing me 4? You better have your socks off.
Indeed, sir. No, man, I feel very similarly about this as I did Airboy. I think I gave Airboy 12. In fact, I plugged in a whole bunch of the Airboy collection holes at Heroes Con, thanks to, pretty sure it was Kirk Spencer. I'm kidding, it was Battle Wagon. He found a whole bunch for me.
Now.
Well, he found them, and then you went and got them.
Yeah, it's like saying there are Airboy comics in there somewhere.
All right, I didn't mean to start a thing.
And I had to dive and find him.
Oh, I thought he'd already. All right.
And you texted me like all the numbers, and I had to go through each one and pull. No, he is not getting the credit for this.
All right, it's a Jason and Dave combo effort.
Thank you.
Right. Anyways, I gave Airboy a 12, and this is very close to that. I don't know that I'd run out and buy it, but it's definitely a grab out of the bins, maybe dollar bin. So I think I'm at a real. I'll go 11 on this. I'm really close to being all in on it, but I think 11 is a
pretty sure I just beat my total from the Lion and the Eagle
from the first 4 years combined.
Yeah, that's right. The rest of these guys can give me 0 and I'm still walking away.
Jason's like, yes, I cracked 11. I still got 2 more guys.
Oh, in that case, then, yeah.
No, I'm really, really taken with this book again. It's good to read something that just has joy in it, and this does, which is not what I expect when I see Alan Moore. I don't expect to see a lot of joy, so I was pleasantly surprised.
Delvin, how many candy canes are you going to give this thing?
Well, your prophecy might be self-fulfilling because we don't know what Pat's going to give, but I'm giving it a 10. I think it was good. I think it was real good. If I saw some Tom Strong and heck, it would be a absolute pickup for like maybe an episode of Longbox Crusade for sure. Like I think that would be a good bet. But if I would also be interested if I see a Tom Strong trade paperback or graphic novel, if I'm being fancy, then I would like to pick it up and read it and possibly regift it to someone else at a later point to read a little bit more about the story. This is just, I swear I've read some Tom Strong somewhere before. This was Wildstorm imprint, right? This is Wildstorm?
This was America's Best Comics. They may have switched over to Wildstorm after it started with ABC.
Because I know it says Wildstorm like in
they did a DC Wildstorm crossover. I have read about Tom Strong in a DC book
before.
It like
what one had a cybernetic guy?
Yeah.
It's gonna drive me nuts.
America's Best Comics was it was an imprint of DC Comics Wildstorm, and I know that they had a couple like Wildstorm special magazines.
Okay.
Where Tom Strong had a piece of that. There was America's Best Comics 64-page giant. There was a polybagged one that came with the Wizard magazine. So if you subscribe to Wizard, maybe that's where you saw it.
Maybe.
All right. Well, Pat, saving the best for last. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna 10 it, 11 it, maybe a 12? Throw a 12 candy cane to your boy for Christmas.
You I remember asking about help with the lights, so because of your enthusiasm on that, I'm going to lower it down by 1 because I could sense the negativity that you were throwing off there. Like, were you going to help me? No, you were trying to play it off. So with that being said, Delvin asked one of my questions is this in a trade? Can you find it? And then how many issues did it go?
It went 36 issues total.
Wow.
As far as the original
monthly run. Or was it the bi-monthly?
Bi-monthly.
Wow.
Bi-monthly, yeah. They have some anthologies, Tom's Terrific Tales. They got several trades, so you can get issues 1 through 7 collected in a trade, and then 8 through 14.
Okay.
15 through 19's in a trade, 20 through 25, 26 through 30, and then 31 through 36. So there are several several trades that are out there. Yeah.
Very good. So, wow, with that longevity of a series as well, too. So I am going to be at 11. I really enjoyed it. Of course, just being able to go through it, I liked it a lot. And if I find it in bins, it'll definitely be one that I will pull out and start to get a collection on that.
Two cool guys.
Two cool guys.
Right.
Yeah, I was hoping for a 12, but I really don't want to put those lights up, so I'll take an 11.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, at least you're honest.
All right. Well, before I wrap up, let me give just one last recommendation for the series, and it's pretty simple, man. So these issues are just fun. They're homages to the pulp heroes of yesteryear. They're lovingly crafted by a master craftsman who's obviously enjoying the storytelling. And, just in today's kind of cynical world, I invite you all to enjoy an all too brief series that invites you to wonder, to adventure, and to believe that good can triumph over evil. And with that will wrap up day 9 of the 12 Days of Crusademas. We'd love to hear from you if you're familiar with any of the comics we cover here on the show, or if you gave one of our recommendations a try, let us know what you think. And you can do that through Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And that's all at Longbox Crusade. You can email us at contact@longboxcrusade.com. Just put that in the Outlook, put that in your little email thing. Hop into your time machine, go back to 1999 and hit send. Or if you want to go back to the 80s, you can pick up the phone. Call us at 707-532-5269. That's 707-532-LBOX. And if you're loving Crusademas and didn't get a chance to listen last year, or you just want to hear more Crusademas, if you can't get enough of this holiday season, we got you covered. Because if you scroll back far enough on our feed, you can find all the episodes from Crusademas past. We started this sucker at 2017. We're here at 2024. It's all in there every year between 2017 and 2024. And we ain't stopping. We'll see you in 2025. Don't worry about that. So thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to come back tomorrow to find out what the next gift is from under the tree here in our festively decorated Longbox Crusade studios. Thanks for putting up with me today, fellas. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Just wish everybody happy holidays, and thanks for listening. And until next time, DJ Cristados, play me my favorite Christmas jam.
Wickedy, 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 whack.